Well, hello. Thanks so much for joining today's Inspire podcast. We've been on the road a lot here lately, going around to some of our amazing offices, sharing best practices, looking for new ideas, looking for ways for us to grow even faster at Integrity. And today we're at Agent Pipeline here in West Virginia, one of the most incredible businesses that we have. And we have Ryan Kimble and Laura Kimble here today. And I'm so excited to be in your office. Ryan, you and I have been talking about this a lot. We've been partners for 3 years now.
Yeah.
And the running joke has been, I've never been to your office.
It's true.
And frankly, you never invited me to your office.
So I hear that part too. Yeah.
So I just invited myself. But it was about like, how do we come in and work with your team?
Yeah.
Share best ideas, best practices, look for ways we can even grow faster and things of that nature. And so thank you guys for having me here today.
So welcome to West Virginia, all the folks that are here. It's good to have you guys in our house, so it's good.
Yeah,
it's
we're glad
awesome
that you're finally here.
It's so awesome. It is so fun to be here.
Yeah.
Seeing PJ Galloway, who won Integrity Idol back in the day, getting to see your wife, getting to go through and see so many familiar faces of just, made Integrity what it is. It's been so much fun. And then sharing ideas and collaborating is what we're all about here. And then also seeing different traditions. So here, you guys have a tradition of a pepperoni roll that I've never heard of before. But tell us about the pepperoni roll, because we actually have some here.
Now you finally get to taste it.
You get to have some.
Tell us about this.
Yes.
All packaged, everything.
So it started years ago. We had carriers coming in, we had agencies coming in, and we wanted to send them back with something from West Virginia.
Oh my God.
You like it? Say it's good.
Good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That is legit.
So we're a state of Italian heritage. Laura and I both have Italian heritage. We may not look like we're Italian, but we have our dad.
You're Sicilian.
Sicilian. Yeah,
I think
my dad
Larry would say Sicilian.
He would. And we found that pepperoni rolls are really unique to West Virginia, at least in the way we prepare them here.
Really?
So every time we'd have carriers come in, every time we'd have agents come in, we would ultimately make sure they had it while they were here and they took it back with them, and we would give them a dozen or 2 dozen to take with them. So each carrier would always say, "Hey, are you guys going to have pepperoni rolls ready for me? Are you going to, can we get these too?"
Amazing.
Yeah. So it ended up being a thing for us.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Now here it's a West Virginia tradition. So here you can find them in every gas station.
Yeah.
Really?
They're at every family reunion. And they're phenomenal. It's a roll with pepperoni in it, and sometimes cheese. How can you get any better?
Yeah.
You can't mess that up.
Yeah,
right.
It's hard.
It's delicious.
That is amazing. So you guys get these made,
and
you bring
somebody
them
internally makes it.
Oh yeah, they're
Somebody
made here.
Yeah, somebody here makes it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So somebody that works here makes these and brings them in.
Yeah.
That's part of their. And the night before you have guests, and you have guests all the time.
We do.
So they're making pepperoni rolls.
We have a small kitchen upstairs too. So when we walk in the morning, and you smell pepperoni rolls, there's guests coming that day.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So it just started out as a thing, and I think every one of us as partners have different things that kind of make us unique. And carriers found when they come to Agent Pipeline, they get fed really well, and they get to take home some home cooking or baked items. And it's just, everybody asks about it. So it's become a really good thing for us.
It's so thoughtful. Yeah. Like, people overcomplicate so many things. There's just this kind of idea that I think so much happens at a table, right? Where you can go through a lot of different references, but just how, as a family, you gather at a table and you share your stories or talk about your day. At the sales process, you try to go to the table. And there's something about having food and something that kind of welcomes you in and says, this is a part of us. This is, we actually made this for you, especially the fact that it's actually homemade here. It's something that is so subtly brilliant that it also kind of just endears you to them to where they're amazing. So I love that idea. And I know a lot of our partners have different ways that they do that, but it doesn't have to be complicated to figure out ways to just make you feel at home, right?
Totally agree. And so what we found over time is that it was a great icebreaker. So for new folks coming to our office for the first time, either we would be nervous, they would be nervous, agencies would be like, what am I here? And what we found is talking about the food that was made by people in the office made them feel more relaxed, and it led to better meetings, and ultimately led to, if you'll leave with 2 things from Agent Pipeline. You'll leave with a bag of pepperoni rolls and a bag of fresh baked cookies. Those 2 things. And so hopefully, you'll leave with some production too. But those 2, and it just became something that we're known for. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Part of our West Virginia hospitality.
Yeah.
There's so much to learn from that. And that's one of the reasons I love coming around our different offices and just trying to learn about what are you doing that makes Agent Pipeline so special that we can also take back and say, we should also look at this in other areas. We've added a lot of partners to the Integrity family. And we started the Inspire podcast back in 2020. So you guys came on in 2020, January of 2020, and then March hit. And I remember where I was. We were talking to different partners saying, what are we going to do? How are we going to work remote when COVID hit? And we were like, okay, what are you going to do? And Laura, you had I remember a very pointed conversation. You said, look, everybody, this is such a scary time. I mean, these were times when, you remember when you bring home like your groceries and you set them in the garage?
Right.
Yeah.
Everything
because you were
changed.
scared you were going to touch something.
Yeah.
You're wearing rubber gloves. And I mean, people were terrified during that time. And you were like, we need to have a call every day to get together and just give people hope. Say a prayer, give people inspiration of something, just because everybody's hearing so much negativity.
Right.
And that's how we started the Inspire podcast. And so it's really your fault, but it's just been a huge part of our culture for people to get to know each other. And so I want to say thank you for that.
You're welcome. I'm glad I could contribute. When we were going through that, I really felt like, everybody's isolated at their homes. They're with their families. Their families are there, but they're isolated. They're working from home. They can't go to the grocery store. They can't just go to the movie theater. And everybody was afraid. And I felt, for me, as a Christian, the one thing I wanted to do is take a minute to stop and pray as a group, or just have a moment where we can all come together as a group and feel less isolated.
Yeah. And so we started that every day, remember? For weeks, we would have the Inspire call. Everybody would get on and we would share stories. And what was amazing is it just knit us together as a culture because you heard the different stories from all of our amazing partners and different things that they had gone through, different ways that they got into business, challenges they'd overcome. And it took your mind off of all the scariness and all the isolation to think, man, we're here in a bigger group, and we can do something together about this. And then like the Integrity Idol and the singing competition, I think we did that in like April of 2020. And I remember we had partners start contributing. You guys started contributing to different things for if you won. And here locally, we donated over $25,000 to PJ Galloway's charity of choice. I mean, you think about when everybody was stopping giving, when the world's shutting down, we rushed in and we were like, let's look for ways to inspire others and give back. And sometimes that simple stuff, kind of like a pepperoni roll, can really make the difference in bringing people together in so many ways. So
absolutely, that made a big impact on our community during a really scary time. So we are very thankful for that.
Sure.
Awesome.
I think we got a chance to learn about people too, like PJ, being as good of a singer as he is.
Oh my gosh.
One, I don't think a lot of people would have known. I wouldn't have known how good he is. And then ultimately, they performed at our Christmas party, and it was he rocked the house down at the Christmas party.
Dude, he's
full
legit.
band. It was amazing.
Fantastic.
He is legit. Yeah. He sang Tennessee Whiskey.
He's got a wide range too.
Chris Stapleton was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, we saw him earlier, and he's not feeling that great. So he's like, don't put me on the spot. But man, it was great to see him.
Yeah, sure.
Stand in the back of the room. I was like, hold on, you can't hide from me, man. I remember this. Well, Integrity's done so many different things.
Yeah.
And we've put out so many different videos and different things that we're not hiding from people here at Integrity. And Ryan, you had a story you were just sharing about your daughter's high school class, which is just crazy to me.
It is. So my daughter Chloe, she's a senior at Winfield High School, and her teacher in her class was showing a video of one of our partners' announcements videos. And Chloe's like, I know that company. And that's Integrity. And so sure enough, she texted me and says, hey, do you know who this group is? And I was like, yeah, I know who they are. And she said, we just watched their announcement video, and then they put Agent Pipeline's announcement video up there. So
really?
Yeah, so the teacher was the spouse of an agent who worked for one of our partners. And that agency had been recently announced. And I thought, man, what a cool experience to be a part of something where, my daughter could say that, our family is the same thing as your family. So it was an interesting deal.
And so when were they showing it in the high school class?
I don't know if I don't remember if it was a communications type class that they were working through.
Talking about how you communicate and share videos.
So it was just an amazing little piece, and then Chloe and the teacher got a chance to connect in a different way. So it was interesting.
Man, that is so cool. And you just never know like how far and wide our reach can be, really.
No question.
I mean, when you think about just the impact that we can have. Laura, so we've been talking a lot about how do we share best practices? How do we all do just a little bit more? How do we all, if we can all just, we've got this amazing company.
Yeah.
If we do just a little bit more, how much more can we accomplish together? What are your thoughts on that?
Sure. I think, just like our meeting today, I think one of the most important things is to elevate those around you, right? And so if we are all trying to run this race and we're all trying to work as hard as we can, what better way to do that than bring others along with us, right? It's almost like rowing a canoe. If you row just yourself, you're not going to get there as fast as if you've got two of you in the canoe, right? So today, obviously, you're here and we had a meeting with a lot of our executive leadership. We had Bobby Lemasters, Kim Patterson, Jessica Adkins. Those are all folks that started out on our sales team and now are our executive leadership, right? And they are there because they've worked hard. They're very smart individuals, and they're helping lead this company, right? And that's an example of taking some of our staff and giving them the opportunity to shine and building up who they are and their strengths.
Yeah, and not only are they doing that, but they're also helping others. In fact, Kim was like, we were helping this other agency do this. And we were helping this other agency with this issue. And it's so cool to be part. You were talking about the fact that you were on a text chain with a bunch of our partners, not only just talking about work things, but also just talking about life together. About look, here's what's going on. How can I help you with this or that? There's some power in what we're doing and all of that. And that's the fun part is now that we're all together and we're not trying to beat each other up as competitors. We're working together to say how can we help even more people. It's truly, I think, a huge opportunity for us to even grow faster. And part of that, we've asked people to step up in new ways, just like Kim and Bobby and you and myself and all of us. We've all said, look, we've all got to do a little bit more. And that's the other part of that was asking you to do more. Ryan has said, we need some more leadership just on our health side. It's a huge part of our business. It's a big segment of kind of the overall growth pattern of integrity. And we were like, we need great leadership to coordinate everything. And as you and I were talking about that, I was like, man, you're the one. Like, will you just step up and step into this? And so first of all, thank you for doing that.
For sure. It's an honor. It's an honor for me to do it.
And, it has been incredible to watch you step into that role. It's been incredible to not only watch you lead in that role, it's been incredible to watch how people responded. People were all like, oh man, that was the best decision you've ever made. That guy, he's the one. And it's everybody to a person. And this isn't usually how it works. There's always naysayers in something.
Sure.
Everybody to a person, from our partners, the leaders in the organization, carrier partners, everybody has been like, yes, Ryan. So what has that been like the last few, how long has it been?
So end of June, end of June, 1st of July. So one, it's very humbling to be able to, be a part of a fantastic agency at Agent Pipeline, and then to come in, step into a role at Integrity. I think back to Kim, Bobby, and the group, everybody is now more geared towards how can we help the bigger platform and how can we help everybody as opposed to how can we help our own business unit. And it was an opportunity for me to really take what I've done since 1996 and try to apply that to everybody. And I think my dad told me a story one time. Well, he didn't tell me a story. He was trying to get me to do something I didn't want to do. And when I first got into business, I had a buddy who wanted to go in and buy an ice cream truck. And so my dad was basically saying, listen, every hour you spend on that truck is less that you can spend at the business. And every hour you spend at the business you'll be more successful if you spend the time here. So as I think about like just in general, it's how we take this company forward, it's spending more time in our business, focused on that, focused on trying to grow faster, run faster. And one of the greatest things I've been able to see as I've come on is just the ability for people to step up and like step into stuff. And some of the folks I get to work with now, They're incredible people and they're incredible leaders across the platform. And there's a commitment to get a job done. And I think that at the end of the day, that's what we got to do. And it's just pushing all of us to step in and use our talents in different ways.
Yeah, look, I think there's so much truth to that. This is all of our biggest investment.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know I can speak for us personally. It's our biggest investment emotionally in a lot of ways. Outside of our family, it's about the integrity family. It's the biggest way that we can have an impact, frankly, I think, in society and other ways, in a huge way.
I would say it's for everyone's career and life cycle as they go through time. Like, this will be the biggest way we can impact as many people as possible.
That's right.
So you should lean all into that and let that be just a mission in life to do it.
And that's what I love about working with you guys and all of our partners who are really leaning into that, going, let's make the most of this. Yeah. And we're grinding. We're grinding. You and I will be in 3 or 4 states today. We've been traveling like crazy, but it's been so rewarding, because then you get to the different offices and you see all these other amazing leaders that also have that same passion, that also have that same kind of purpose, that also have that desire to also step up. I mean, that's one of the things we saw today with your team, of going, how do we take on more? Some of the other offices we've seen is they're saying, how do I take on more? What can I do to contribute more so we can have a bigger impact? And that's where I get so excited about what we're building. And I say it all the time, but I think we're just getting started, because some of the opportunities that we've just been talking about of connecting dots and saying, oh, we can help you with that. Man, we hadn't scratched the surface there. And that's where I think it's so exciting for us to be able to serve even more people.
I think in the position I'm in now, I truly see that we're just getting started. You see it now at a better level than when I may have saw it when I was a partner, because I see all the opportunity we have, and all we have to do is go after it. And we have to go after it quickly. And that's all we got to do. Just go after it, keep moving forward, and there's a lot of great opportunity ahead of us.
So there's so many different opportunities that I think we have to step up. And so, Laura, if you had a piece of advice you would give somebody to do that, what would it be?
Sure. Well, for me, I think the piece of advice I would give is to be the solution. Whatever the problem is, people come with problems in life, whatever it may be, but come with the solution, be the solution. Today we talked a lot about ways that you all could help us from an integration standpoint, but we had Jessica Atkins in there. She's a great example. When we were growing and we needed to do more with marketing, we needed a better system for doing agent recruitment and blast emails and lead tracking. She was on our sales team. And then she came over and she said, you know what? I can do this. I can be the solution for this, right? So she moved over from our sales team, became the one that took over our marketing department, learned everything she possibly could about it. And now our recruitment numbers are higher than they've ever been. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's incredible. I mean, if you think about just the simplicity, it's kind of like making people feel at home. Right? It's kind of like that idea of just being welcoming them and stepping in and being the solution.
Be the solution.
There's a lot of people who want to be the problem. But be the solution, which is kind of the idea of how you helped us think about the Inspire podcast. It's there's this problem. Let's be the solution. So that's such great advice for us to all think about, for sure.
Absolutely. And you can do that at any level, whether you have just started or you've been here or with the company for 15 years. There's always new problems. We're in a growing marketplace, so there's always new problems that come out, so you can be the solution to whatever might be coming next.
And the other thing about that is, whenever you see somebody who's being the solution, doesn't that make you want to help them more?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you see her stepping up, or you see somebody that sees trash on the floor and goes over and picks it up, or you're in the restroom. I don't know if you're supposed to talk about that, but you're in the restroom and you're washing your hands, and somebody has they're drying their hands and then they dry all off the seat.
Yeah, sure.
Which nobody usually does, but you see that, you're like, that person's being the solution. And I want to figure out how do I help them grow?
Right.
Because you want to help people like that grow and achieve even more as well. And with great leaders like you guys, great partners, I want to say thank you for everything you do for us and for the Integrity family, the passion you have, the way that you guys have led from the front in so many different ways really inspires me. And so thank you guys for letting us come today. And Thanks for the Inspire story and the opportunity just to give a quick update about where we are and where we're going, because we are just getting started.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming, Bryan. The meeting today is really going to allow us to go faster, do more than we did before, just by collaborating together.
100%.
Yeah.
It's just the beginning.
Yeah, man.
I love you guys. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for the pepperoni
Yeah.
rolls too.
Enjoy
I'm
them.
going to take those home.
Yeah.
My son's favorite food, Asher's favorite food, is pizza and
Oh,
pepperoni.
really?
Oh, he's
pizza.
going to love it.
So I'm going to take those home.
That's great.
Shiloh's favorite food is cereal. We're working on pizza. He won't eat pizza, but we're going to get him there. But Asher's going to crush some of these
that's
pepperoni
great.
rolls. So
That's
thanks everybody for joining us today. It was so exciting to see all the amazing things that we're doing here at Integrity, and certainly with Agent Pipeline and all the things that we're doing together. So hope everybody has a great week. God bless you all and take care.